Hey guys, Al here with Dark Gathering Episode 1 review. At first we see our male protagonist, Ketaro Jintoga, take the stage to deliver the freshman welcome address at his school. During his speech, we come to know that Ketaro is not particularly fond of the supernatural and openly acknowledges that spirits are inexplicably attracted to him. Following a tragic incident involving a middle school student, Ketaro decided to lead a reclusive lifestyle, isolating himself from the outside world. However, with the support of his family, his close friend Eiko Hazuki, and others, Ketaro eventually mustered the courage to break free from his self-imposed seclusion and embark on a normal life once again, determined to catch up on his studies and integrate back into school. So it seems like supernatural things such as spirits and ghosts are common in this world, and something huge happened to Ketaro due to them, which led him to be a shut-in for many years. You guys might be thinking that's a pretty normal setting, but keep on watching. We see Ketaro excitedly inform Eiko that he has landed a tutoring job, and Eiko expresses her happiness that he is starting to get his life back on track and attending the same school as her. Later, Ketaro meets with someone from Private Tutor Square who informs him that he will be tutoring a child named Yayoi Hazuki. Ketaro is told that Yayoi, a talented third grader, would greatly benefit from his expertise and accomplishments, making him an ideal match as her tutor. Curious to learn more, Ketaro visits Eiko's place and inquires about her relationship with Yayoi. Eiko reveals that Yayoi is her younger cousin and has been living with her for the past year. It's really strange that Eiko specifically asked for Ketaro. Many might say she is just trying to help her friend, but that certainly isn't the case given what was shown in this episode, and I think her motive is entirely different. Next we see Eiko introduce Yayoi to Ketaro, but he is initially taken aback by her appearance. However, he soon discovers that Yayoi possesses the ability to see spirits, much like himself. Concerned for her safety, Ketaro warns Yayoi to stay away from her bunny plushie, as it might attract malevolent spirits. Surprisingly, Yayoi shows no fear and even offers to strangle the plushie to alleviate Ketaro's discomfort. This gesture helps Ketaro calm down, and he proceeds to introduce himself properly to Yayoi. Curiosity getting the better of her, Yayoi asks Ketaro if they can visit a haunted location together. However, Ketaro hesitates and refuses her request. Determined to get her way, Yayoi resorts to calling the Private Tutor Square department and uses it as leverage to entice Ketaro into fulfilling her demands. Eventually, the trio embarks on a visit to a haunted location, fulfilling Yayoi's desire for a spooky adventure. Yayoi is so cute and scary at the same time that it kinda feels weird. Her double pupils make her eyes look like skulls. Also, this part was funny, but it created a spooky feeling too. Moving on, we see Eiko explain to Ketaro that she typically doesn't fulfill her cousin's wishes. However, she makes an exception this time because they will have someone like Ketaro, who has experience sensing spirits, with them. Ketaro clarifies that he can only sense spirits and lacks any actual experience in seeing or exorcising them. Despite Ketaro's concerns, Eiko remains firm in her decision and assures him that they will leave the location if things become dangerous. They arrive at the haunted phone booth of H City, and Eiko proceeds to share its chilling backstory with Ketaro and Yayoi. According to the tale, a hostess was assaulted and murdered at that very phone booth. Eiko warns that anyone who enters the phone booth or makes a call from it will meet a similarly gruesome fate as the unfortunate hostess. Eiko isn't a fool, so it's odd for her to show so much faith in Ketaro even though apparently he can't do anything. Also, the faces Eiko makes from time to time are creepy. Then we see that despite Ketaro's concerns, Yayoi decides to enter the haunted phone booth, which worries him. Surprisingly, Yayoi claims not to sense anything terrible emanating from the booth. Eiko ponders whether the story of the murdered hostess was just a myth, but Ketaro, on the other hand, senses something dangerous nearby. Against his better judgment, Ketaro joins in and dials the alleged phone number associated with the booth, despite worrying for their safety. To their astonishment, the spirit of the hostess calls Ketaro through the phone. In a panic, Yayoi throws her stuffed rabbit into the phone booth. Shockingly, the trio witnesses the rabbit burst into a pool of blood within the booth. Filled with fear and urgency, they quickly flee the scene using Eiko's car to escape the haunting encounter. The animation studio did a really good job with the scary parts of the scene because it was kinda scary. We see that in Eiko's home, Ketaro raises the question about Yayoi's peculiar fascination with ghosts. Eiko requests that Ketaro discuss his concerns about Yayoi privately with her after he has helped Yayoi with her studies. As they engage in a study session, Ketaro is taken aback by Yayoi's intelligence, finding her surprisingly capable. Curiosity getting the better of him, Ketaro asks Yayoi if she can see spirits. Yayoi playfully responds, joking that she catches spirits in 4K and confesses her fondness for supernatural things, much like her love for plushies. Yayoi then asks Ketaro how frequently he attracts spirits, to which he responds that it happens 100% of the time. Intrigued, Yayoi requests Ketaro to demonstrate his abilities, but he hesitates and ultimately refuses her request. It's scary to think how one would live if they attract supernatural things so much, and it's totally understandable why Ketaro became a shut-in. No one would ever want to go out if something like that happened to them. Then we see Eiko open up to Ketaro and advise him not to be too hard on Yayoi. She reveals that Yayoi's parents tragically died in a car accident. Eiko believes that Yayoi's fascination with supernatural entities and her desire to visit haunted places stems from her longing to find her mom's ghost. In a flashback, it is shown that Yayoi and her mom had a conversation with an optometrist regarding Yayoi's double pupils. Yayoi explains that she experiences double vision, allowing her to see both ordinary and shadowy things simultaneously. Afterwards, Yayoi begins spotting more shadow creatures, leading her mom to suggest a family trip to an amusement park. During the outing, Yayoi notices a dark aura emanating from a truck driver's vehicle. Unfortunately, a collision occurs between Yayoi's family vehicle and the truck, resulting in Yayoi waking up in a hospital and discovering the tragic news of her parents' deaths. As Yayoi recovers, she overhears two women gossiping about her and remarking that she became smarter after the accident. While lying in bed, Yayoi realizes that she can now perceive both the spirit world and the natural world simultaneously. She recalls seeing a peculiar tentacle-like spirit take her mom away just before losing consciousness. At her parents' grave, Yayoi makes a promise to her dad that she will find a way to bring her mom back home. After learning about Yayoi's past, Ketaro contemplates what he can do to assist her in her journey. It seems like the tentacle spirit was trying to implant something in Yayoi's mom's stomach, which was really creepy and disgusting in a good way. Also, it seems like people having superpowers is a pretty normal thing in this world. At the end we see Yayoi, Eiko, and Ketaro make plans to revisit the haunted phone booth of H City. Before they leave, Yayoi hands Ketaro a Jizo statue, believed to provide protection from evil spirits. They arrive at the location, and Yayoi reveals that she wants to see the hostess's spirit once again. She informs Ketaro that the spirit is watching him. Suddenly, the spirit pulls Ketaro into the phone booth, creating an opportunity for Yayoi to confront and defeat it. Yayoi promises Ketaro that she will hunt down every spirit they encounter. After their encounter at the haunted phone booth, Ketaro and his friends return to Eiko's place. Ketaro admits his dislike for dealing with the supernatural, but Eiko sees through his words, knowing it to be a lie. Having witnessed Ketaro calling the hostess on the phone, Eiko realizes that he actually enjoys the feeling of fear. Ketaro questions why Yayoi struggles to find spirits and wonders if they are intentionally avoiding her. Yayoi explains her Kadoku method to Ketaro. Ketaro contemplates what his life will be like moving forward, given the experiences he has had and the path he is embarking on alongside Yayoi and Eiko. A little girl being so brutal that supernatural beings try to avoid her all the time out of fear, and a guy who is obsessed about experiencing fear just for the thrills, is something too scary to even think about. Overall, it was a great first episode and the concept is kinda unique. I really enjoyed it, although I don't think it's for everyone, but if you like horror stuff then it's certainly worth a shot. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. If you like my video and want to see me make more, then hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to say something, then leave a comment. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram or check out my Facebook page. Links are given in the description. Until then, see ya.